Because while, of course, we could introduce our players where they spawn their bases, I think it is far more important to talk about where they choose to have their bases. Because, folks, you know the saying that, right, you can choose your family, something like that. Totally botching it. Or I guess you have your birth family, and you have your chosen family, your blood family, and your chosen family, whatever it is. You have your home base. You have your birth base, as a GUMIHO has here, and then you have the base you choose for yourself. And that base that you choose for yourself is far more important than the base that you are provided at birth, or at least spawned. At least as you spawn into. So Solar, though, he's gonna get the immediate scout, and GUMIHO has been doing. I don't know whether this is just GUMIHO not feeling super confident in his TVZ, but I have cast 4 GUMIHO games. Individual GUMIHO games in the last 3 days, and every single one of them, or at least half of them, have been proxies. The rest of them have just been super aggressive options that were not proxies. So Solar here with a nice micro loses not a single drone. So here come the SCVs, here come the Marines, and as the creep starts to expand, the SCVs will not get that bunker up. So really, they're just trying to buffer here, and GUMIHO immediately gives up on this, making the decision that the worker pull is going to have to be enough. And the Lings, now they get active on the map. One will fall, but as the Queen's going to pop out rather soon. The Lings are being made, so this is just not going to work out for GUMIHO really whatsoever. So where does he go from here, right? That's the question. He does have a factory on the way, just about done on his side of the map, but you commit this much to making something happen and you get nothing done. Literally nothing done. One Ling has died, and actually the second Ling will fall now as it gets a scout off in the main base or up the natural. Oh, it's going to get SCV? No, it's going to get pulled back to Marines. This SCV, though, is getting rather low, delaying the command center a little bit more, and it makes this, oh, it absolutely pays for itself. 1 SCV goes down for the cost of 2 Lings. Well, that's rather thrifty, Solar. Solar understands that we are in a period of global instability, right? With inflation rising and the potential of a recession, so he is being as thrifty as possible. He is making sure that every single thing he buys goes the extra mile. He's mixing sawdust in with his flour to make sure his bread, well, just goes a little bit longer. And it is in this game number 1. And he can stash as many drones under the mattresses as he would like, because there is no world, no world for a while at least, where the Bank of GUMIHO will come collecting. And what do you think? Are we stretching this analogy a little? We're stretching this analogy just a little too far, but that's fine. It's Monday Night StarCraft. So certainly, really the big deal here is that GUMIHO got literally no damage done. The worst he got was maybe a worker pull, but again, he proxied 2 racks. That is not enough. And Solar can drone with absolute impunity. Notice, I mean, he pulled all his workers off gas because that's what you have to do, but he's not going to start his speed until about 4:30-ish. 4:20, 4:30, something like that. He is incredibly greedy. But that's something you can do, of course, when your opponent 2-backs you and you hold it rather easily indeed. So, 6 Marines, though, and the medevacs. This is a way that GUMIHO can try to get aggressive on the map. He's going to boost into, I assume, the main base. And again, Bailiness is on the way before speed. That is just the type of game that Solar is. Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. Speed was done. I'm blind. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking about how speed was super late, and that's how greedy he was being, and in fact, speed was done. Bad streamer. How could you do such a thing? But drops on, trying to find his way on top of the Queen. Meanwhile, the Lings are somewhat preoccupied by the Hellion run by, so the Queen will fall. Sport is not quite reburrowed properly. Oh, what a block there. Well done, Solar. He really prevents any sort of worker damage. And this drop, I mean, getting a Queen is nice. It's the start of something. Hey, folks, we all took 5th grade English once upon a time. You know that you need more than the exposition. You need the rising action. You need the climax. You need the falling action, and you need that resolution. And right now, we are at barely into the exposition. Really not much of a start at the moment in this high drama that we do call Solar and GUMIHO. Now, GUMIHO, does he have a 3rd base on the way? Not just yet. He's trying to leverage this into a almost a TYS 211, where you do get those Hellions, but we do actually. I'm sorry, we can see TYS 211, but with no 3rd base, it's armory. Hellbats are going to be the name of the game, but folks, Baneling Nest is done. Banelings are already done. More on the way. Feels like Solar, he knows everything he needs to do to make sure he has this hold happening. He's going back up to 9 queens, and it depends on how good the target fire at the end of the day is going to be from Solar. If he's able to target the Banes down, he wins the fight. If he doesn't target the Banes down properly or quickly enough or enough of them, well, he just kind of gets bopped. The Hellbats are morphing off creep out of vision right around Solar's 4th base, but she may be forced to give up. We're going to have to see. But here come Lings. It seems like Solar's already aware of what's happening. As he sees the Hellions, sees the Hellbat Queens all rotate over. More Banelings are morphing in. It feels like this Baneling count might just be a little bit too much. 4th base is canceled. Banelings get a couple good connections there on the Hellbats to start. And, well, GUMIHO is getting something. Meanwhile, oh, Hellbat dropping the main base. This is actually a drop that was set up a while ago, but it really hasn't done much of anything. But Lings get this around, and the Hellbats, as good as they are against Lings, they're not that good. There's a couple. It looks like the drone goes down as the 4th base canceled once again. I feel like if you're Solar, at this point, you just got to go and take this base. But for right now, only 3 workers fall. Solar continues to play lockdown defense. The Hellbats. Well, unfortunately, the medevac gets up, but the Hellbats don't really get that much done. So we're going to see more Hellbat drops now into the natural as GUMIHO is trying to channel his best 2013 innovation. It's going to work. Oh, they're getting so low to only 2 workers fall. And now they're going to have to run back into a corner, and that seems to be the end of that. That was almost a disaster for Solar, but at the end of the day, the Hellbats, oh, they're going to find a wonderful spot. Drones have to get pulled away, and the Banelings cannot be brought to the fray just yet. They're going to come crashing in. How good are the lifts? They're okay. One medevac does go down there thanks to the spore. So GUMIHO is starting to find some value. Not game-ending value. Certainly not even game-defining value. But in this game, as the Hellbat drop continues to try to find some value, and the Queen's actually not gonna... There we go. No, they do get it down. Solar's still a 3-base Zerg. 4th base only halfway done. He's only on 59 or 66 workers. His economy has been stretched, has been stressed by what GUMIHO has been doing, and he is not letting up the pressure. Widowmine drops on the way right now, and it makes you wonder, you know, if GUMIHO had just gone for a normal opening, how ahead would he be in this game? Although the flip side of this is if GUMIHO had gone for a normal opening, maybe Solar would not have been as reactively greedy. Well, there's that. So here comes Widowmines burrowing in, and of course, well, the spore needs to be where it needs to be. There, the spore is there. So 1 drop goes down into the carpet bomb into the natural. Is this one going to go down? Oh, great connection there. But there we go. That's only going to be 1 worker. So at the very least, Widowmines, they don't get the end of the world damage done, and this drop is going to get cleaned up very quickly. So again, drips and drabs, but at the end of the day, 11 drones have died. 50 Lings have died. 9 Banelings. We're starting to see GUMIHO find value in paper cuts, in spoons, as it were. And well, I know GUMIHO was not the spoon tyrant, but he certainly is starting to take little spoonfuls out of Solar at this point. We can see this in the fact that, well, Solar's not roaring ahead in supply, which, considering he held that 2 racks insanely easily. And granted, it was not as much of a commitment as it might normally be, but anyways, he held that 2 racks insanely easily. So you gotta cancel these games. There we go. They all get canceled down, and, well, Widowmine doesn't get that much of a shot. So they're just gonna get a scat off. They're gonna see that a 4th base is on the way. There was a world where Solar was getting hit about 180 supply when GUMIHO was cresting 150 and just start to flood Lings, Banes, and Hydras across the map. But because of this damage that GUMIHO has been getting, specifically denying the 4th base over and over again, it means that Solar did not have the larva, did not have that 4th base economy, even if he had the drone count. And now GUMIHO is sitting rather pretty. I would say he's come all the way back into this game. The only way he's a little bit down in upgrades. And that is a bit obnoxious, but his army is good enough here, especially in the multi-prong. And again, he's going to force another base to get canceled. Solar very much playing bend, don't break. But unfortunately, sometimes you bend long enough, and, well, eventually that does come to turn into a bit of a break of its own. Now, the Banelings will go down, so this drop does get cleaned out. But dropping the main base here. Lings and Mains are in a very nice position, but, well, we see GUMIHO dropping 1 Baneling or 1 Marine at a time. And yes, 1 Marine for 1 Baneling is a trade you love to make if you are the Zerg players. Or really, man, GUMIHO is starting to impress me in this game. He's got a drop on the north side, not doing much of anything just yet. Drop behind the mineral line. And I think we're going to try to see him get triggered, or trying to trigger both at the same time. Is a bit of a run by here as well. So north side, that cancels a fifth base once again. Bit of a run by onto creep. That doesn't seem like he's scanning. Oh, there we go. There's the scan. So he's going to knock down a lot of creep here with this scant amount of Marines and Marauders. And the drop on the north side. Okay, that's not going to get all that much done. But GUMIHO has 4 or 5 distinct positions here on the map. Oh, this is not what you want here, Solar. Oh, no, Solar Knight. Oh, God. Oh, okay, that was... I didn't click on it in time. 13 kills on that one. 14 total workers go down. A lot of Lings, a lot of Banes go down. GUMIHO really now starting to find the value that he's looking for. And Solar, he doesn't have his 5th base. GUMIHO has 4. He's got his 5th base and 6. Oh, no, I'm sorry, there's a barracks. But he does have his 5th base on the way right now. He is... the one thing he's lacking, of course, is those upgrades. But the game goes long enough, he will have them. And Solar needs to get this 5th base. He really is starting to run in this position where he's not building the bank that he wants. Biostim's in the main base too. They're going to find Queens. And, well, as long as Banelings don't show up, they can absolutely fight these Lings. And here come the Banes. And one medevac falls, but still cost-effective trades. Now GUMIHO brings his main army through the middle of the map, knocking down creep as he goes. Creep that has been kept contained by minor run-bys through the last 5 minutes or so. Now GUMIHO is going to have the scan completing, even still. So the lurkers will get their burrow off as GUMIHO kites to the right side, where Widowmines, well, they're actually going to friendly fire rather nicely, and GUMIHO will be forced back a little bit. But GUMIHO already has his Ghost Academy done. He can make that Ghost transition rather nicely if that's what he chooses to do. No Ghost in the way just yet, though, staying really on this pure Marine Marauder medevac mine 4M composition. He does scan out the lurkers, though, and there was a world where he was going to be able to dive on top of them, but it's 5 lurkers, maybe not. Personal cloaking on the way, +3 attack on the way. GUMIHO does need to remember to get armor. It does need to get bio armor as well, and this is one where it's a little bit complicated because he forgot +2 armor, I think, or it was slowed down in some way, maybe even corrupted, not sure. I thought they were on the same timer, but they were a little bit slower. There's Banelings. They go for Widowmines. They go from downtown. Oh, nice connection there with the Widowmine. This minefield that GUMIHO has set up is so hard for Solar to fight into. That would be, of course, harder if the bio was there, but GUMIHO playing a little bit conservative at the moment as he is establishing his 5th base. And actually, this is funny. This was just an orbital. This was just for extra mules and extra scans. 5th base is actually much slower on the field. I think I would have preferred to just see this float over, but apparently that's not what he's doing. Is now... Well, that's a tiny drop. 2 Marines and a Marauder in the drop. That is absolutely standard. Bog standard, folks. Normal drop here. But here comes the bio going forward. And from downtown, that Widowmine gets 11 Lings. And that is absolutely, again, unlocking positions for GUMIHO at this side of the map. 1 lurker defensively, and, well, the scan goes down. But, again, it's 2 Marines and a Marauder. They don't kill this all that quickly, but they will kill it anyways. Only 1 Marine falls. Nice micro there from GUMIHO on the upper left side, which means there's a lot of pressure on this base. I don't think they kill it, but they do understand that it exists, and GUMIHO may return later on to make that death happen. So it's funny, we look at this, and GUMIHO's army supply seems pretty strong, but then you look at it, it's like, where is this army? And most of it really is sitting at home, I guess, and the drop on the north side. Dewdrops actually on the north side, and I don't know that GUMIHO's going to be able to push in through this position. Not into creep, not into spores, not into vipers, not into all of that. Is Widowmine... they get split against, but still nice connection there for GUMIHO. That one, though, will go down. But here goes Solar, going full Unga Bunga on the right side, where the army of GUMIHO is not really there. The splits are decent, but not incredible. And now the Banelings, they come in. Widowmines are not getting the shots that they want for the first time in quite a while. Solar seems to be really finding some momentum in this game. And with the Hydras here, with that +1, seems like they may be able to go. And, oh, Ghost gets kept alive. And the Banelings, they come rolling forward. They do not trade cost effectively against the Ghost whatsoever. But the command center, it's starting to burn down. Hydras are going to try to get on top of it. But the scan gets dropped here, and here comes the army of GUMIHO. Needs to keep this base alive. Will not be able to do so, I don't think. He can't get it over ground, and there we go. It burns down. People screaming. No, actually, no one's screaming inside. Nothing was put in. But there are, yes, there are. There we go. There are other command centers, and yeah, if you put an orbital here, you probably want to put a planetary more exposed, but you kind of want to put a planetary on the high ground anyways. So if you look at the resources lost in this game for the first time actually in this game, Solar's up 8,000, or Solar's down 8,000 resources lost, and it makes a lot of sense. He has been not trading cost effectively for quite a while, but Solar, this late game is absolutely his bailiwick. This is where he is more comfortable. than really any other game state. We see him play Bjorn actually fairly often, and he tends to lose against Bjorn in the early mid-game timing. And we saw GUMIHO start to pull ahead in that when the Terran goes bonkers, and then he comes back into the late game and just makes it happen anyways. And we're gonna have to see whether Solar's gonna be able to do that one once again. He's got a respectable bank. As we see parasitic bombs go down to these very, very full medevacs. So GUMIHO drops out stuff, and well, he's just gonna have to pull back. One parasitic bomb does not kill a medevac, so I'm surprised we're seeing him kind of bail out of there. Bailey's come rolling forward, but there are tanks and there it goes. So that's not gonna get all that much done. Great connection there on the Marines in the pocket though. And that's what you're looking for. The multi-prong now coming in from Solar. Nidus in the natural, but a couple Marines, SCVs are going to get pulled in with Ghost as well. Yeah, this is going to get barely cleaned up. There we go. So Nidus number 1, not successful. And one thing we need to keep an eye on, folks, as we see the Nidus go down to the main base here, is how many prospective Nidus go out for one real Nidus, because they're not cheap. They're absolutely something that Zerg can bankrupt themselves by dropping Nidus over and over again and just not finding what they are looking for. So for now, GUMIHO establishing this wonderfully defensive position on the bottom right side. Still kind of needs a planetary here, but I'm not sure he has room for it. Okay, this might be the planetary. Kind of want to see where the ghosts are right now, actually, because that does a great job of choking things out. Anyways, GUMIHO with a Viking harass. This should not kill this base, by the way. It's cute, but it's not going to kill the base. But he should be able to knock this base on the right side. So the Terran is really just trying to split this map. Split this map very hard. The snipes go down on a bunch of queens, so this creep will not be allowed to go up. But the ghosts do have to run away. No medevacs are here. Oh no! Ghost personal cloak, and they gotta split 6 Banes, kill a ghost, but it does not matter how many ghosts are there. So 6 Banes, yes, they don't trade cost effectively against 1 ghost, but they don't have that. When there are like 10 ghosts clumped together and 7 of them go down, that's actually much more of a problem. EMP on the 1 Viper, but there are more where that came from, and this is absolutely Solar's opportunity. Concave, though, still for GUMIHO, rather fantastic. He's going to stem down the ramp. Now there's a random drone with his army, but stems down the ramp. Another Nidus goes down. That is the 3rd one in this game that has been unsuccessful, and GUMIHO sees the 4th one. And kills the morphing Banelings there with the medevac, or with the Widowmine. So this drop of 8 Marines is going to go over. He's aware that this Nidus is here. He's going to try to kill the hatchery as well. What pops out of this Nidus? A bunch of lurkers trying to put aggression onto GUMIHO's extra base, as GUMIHO finds himself on the right side. Actually, nothing. Yeah, there we go. Lurkers are popping out trying to defend this base. They will be able to do so. GUMIHO picks up, runs away. Ooh, but Secret Agent Ghosts on the hunt here. Scan goes down. There's just no detection. All these ghosts, or all these lurkers, they get popped immediately. Unfortunately, though, they are going to be left behind. Only 1 medevac here to get them out. So as much as I like the move, the ghosts could not stay around as long as they did. Yeah, you get a bunch of lurkers, but that is, I think, 6 ghosts dying. Not what you want here if you are GUMIHO. He's been rather too relaxed on his ghost control, to be totally honest. Yes, he's up 11,000 workers, but one of the hallmarks of excellent late game play. Like, if you watch Mario play, the one thing you'll notice is his ghost loss count, it'll stay very, very low. I'm not going to give you a number because, of course, that varies by the game, but he really commits to keeping those ghosts alive as the bio steps backward. Nice surround from Lings, but they're just a little bit too late. Base will get canceled, but the Lings on the left side and the right side are really starting to find a lot more value, especially into the mineral line. Tanks are not yet sieged. Ghosts have to run away, and Solar's just breaking right through GUMIHO. Yes, GUMIHO has a bank, but he will lose the position on that 5th base. The Ghosts, now they cloak up, but observers are here, so that's fine. The tanks get knocked down here as well. And 34 workers, they just died in the blink. There were 34 workers at that base? Huh. 34 workers go down in the blink of an eye. This is very much not what you're looking for if you are a GUMIHO fan. All right, but here come Lings once again looking for this round. Medevacs, they're just going to have to save. They're going to have to run away. GUMIHO, he feels like he's got to go all in now after that damage he took, but I don't think he can. Tanks are sieged up, but they're far away from the rest of the army. Lings trying to get on top of them. Parasitic bomb on these very, very low medevacs. Lings now come rolling in. And yes, GUMIHO's trying to find the best possible position. But there's a reason that I'm talking about how good Solar is in the late game. He showed it right there. That was not a clean mid game for him, but late game, the sun rises and Solar is up 1. So, Barracks Double Gas Factory wow, what am I saying? Hatch gas pool coming in from Solar in this game number 2. He does scout out the fact that there is no proxy racks, at least not in that location. The SCV arriving with no brother or sister or other indeterminate gendered sibling. No sibling. There we go. Will prove to Solar that yes, there is no proxy right now, at least no proxy barracks. You can, of course, proxy a factory and a starport, do all manner of obnoxious and annoying things. That's not exactly what's happening in this game, as GUMIHO did open Marine first. He's building 3 of them, actually, that he's going to put on the map before getting any sort of add-on, and this allows him to run across the map and maybe try to snipe some overlords, but Solar is wise to this absolute tomfoolery. The absolute shenanigans, and he will not be allowed to find, and GUMIHO will not be allowed to find any advantage in this early game. So Solar, he's on the high ground cliffs, he sees the Marines, and well, here's the interesting thing. Is he building more? No, okay, he's building add-ons, but we will see a bunker go down at the 3rd base, and this can be pretty annoying to deal with, to be totally honest. Now, Solar, does he see it? Yes, he does. Yeah, this is in visions to the Queen's. What they're going to do, actually, is they're not even going to bother with the bunker necessarily. Lings are going to be able to deal with that. Instead, they're zoning out the Marines. They're making it so the Marines cannot really find their way in. But, ooh, Marines, they do find their way, but Lings with the body block. 1 Marine goes down, 2 Marines, well, 2nd Marine's now going to try to fall. Lings try to chase that down. Micro from GUMIHO. The Gumi God keeps the 2nd Marine alive on, like, 2 HP. Now, here comes the bunker. To Solar now, I don't think he cancels this base. It's too far along. Does he drop a spine, though? I don't think so. It's only 2 Marines. Queens will struggle to knock this down. They do, of course, have to maintain their... He will have to spend a transfuser, too. And Helling's going to try to dive in the main base as well, where Ling should be enough to deal with this one for the most part. But this is actually a great play from GUMIHO. And his micro is actually fantastic. So Lings are struggling to find the value. He knows the Queens have to all be brought over to deal with this bunker, which means the single Hellion. It's only 1 Hellion, but there are no Queens to deal with it. Oh, that's sexy. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, but we see the Hellion. It finds itself in the corner. It kills the Lings on the high ground. Or kills the Lings from the high ground just to keep this pressure alive a little bit longer. Now, this SCV has to die. And Solar will kill it. Okay. Now, 5 Queens are at the front. 3 workers went down, and that was a bit annoying. And the Viking on the map is the will. GUMIHO, we talked about channeling the spirit of Maru a little bit, or at least trying to in game 1. Now he's channeling the spirit of Pult. Those Prime Terrans, man, we can never get away from them. Maru, Pult, and Bjorn all together. 3 of the greatest Terran players to ever touch this game, all coming out of that one ragtag team house that eventually had a team that was disbanded due to some unethical dealings. But in their prime, oh, so awesome. I mean, the scouting at the very least for their owners to find Bjorn, or that at the time Ghost King, Bjorn, Maru, and Pult, and others as well. I think Puma was a part of that team, and he was, of course, a great Terran in Wings of Liberty before he did retire. Insane scouting. But here comes rounds 2 of the aggression from GUMIHO. Only 1 Overlord did go down because of the Queen positioning and their rapid transfusing ability, but that means they might have a little bit less energy here. It's still 6 Queens on the front line. This shouldn't get all that much done as the Hellions arrive with the Raven as well. GUMIHO, I mean, I love the... what's the word? I love the adaptation, I guess is the best way to say this, that we're seeing out of Terran players as of late. We've seen Bjorn go for some rather interesting early, like 7 Marine drops into things, into Terran aggression or into macro play. We're seeing GUMIHO and Bjorn both go with that 3 Marine opener to snipe an Overlord. We're seeing more Hellion Raven play. The meta for a while felt very stale. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm going to turtle into the late game as the Terran and as Zerg, and, well, we're not going to do anything for about 8 until minute 20. Really, you know, maybe some minor pressure, but that's about it. And then both sides have really started to adapt into the meta a little bit more, started to make the games a lot more exciting to play and watch. And that makes me very, very happy because, yeah, miss me with that turtle nothing happening. Now, if the game goes late, we get into that late game TVZ setup with Ghosts and Liberators and Tanks and Thors and whatever it is, because the mid game was good and there was constant fights back and forth and it was just very interesting. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But turning the game off for 12 minutes is a very hard thing to cast. For now, though, Lings, they were in a bit of an ambush position, but the Hellions, they don't dive in. And we got to point this out, by the way. So first of all, it's inside and out. Yes, it is not as easy to go. And oh, here comes the surround. Oh, is he gonna get on top of it? Oh, okay. I mean, auto turret will get dropped, but even still, all the Hellions will go down. Nice little bit of surround there from Solar, even off creep. And this means that this push coming from GUMIHO now, with all these Marines, is going to be far less effective. Queens now on the other side of the ramp. Lings and Banes defending the fourth base of Solar. But now these Queens, that means these Queens are a little bit exposed. The Lings, Banes, they have to run forward. Raven is just providing the vision. More auto turrets get dropped here. And the micro is rather nice, but there is the surround. And Medivacs arrive just in time to pick up everything. Medivac them right back home, but still not exactly the trade you're looking for. If you are GUMIHO and Lings Banes, they're going to try to knock down reinforcements, and they will be able to do so, especially with 1-1 done. This drop on the high ground gets fully surrounded, does not get the value at once. And here come Lings and Banes into the third base now of GUMIHO. This is one of the problems of inside and out. Yes, it's an incredible map for Terran to push into. Yes, there are fantastic chokes, but if you lose a fight, Zerg can immediately snowball on the other side. And honestly, Charlotte could have done that a little bit better. The wonderful choked up position here only had Lings fighting from one side. So GUMIHO was able to stay alive. Oh, okay. I was going to say that was very nice queen positioning, but unfortunately, they didn't actually target the Medivacs down, so it's not going to work out all that much. And here comes pressure of GUMIHO on the bottom right side. It looks like it's not going to get much done either. So we talked about how last game, GUMIHO did such an incredible job of playing defensively, as this Widow Mine should now go down as it tries to unburrow, prevents the shot, but instead it, well, goes down, and once again we give a drone in the army. It's so easy to do when you're hotkeying just all your larvae together, and if you do it a little bit too fast when you're droning, you can add a couple drones to your army unintentionally. Okay, I've just about done. Lurker Den on the way. Solar will have access to that tech if he needs it. And again, remember, GUMIHO put himself in a lead in game number 1 by really tremendously multi-pronging. We're not seeing that from him here, and Solar really just feels much more unlocked on the map. This Ling run by into the third base seems like it's going to be pretty nice. A bunch of SCVs may go down. We're going to see just how good the reaction is, but 4 workers go down for the moment. Lings now cannot run away, so they might as well just get as much damage as they can. And GUMIHO, oh, Solar's not quite targeting this down the way he would like. In fact, he's kind of, let's hear, on that one SCV, and actually this fourth base is going to be denied for a pretty long time. Big deal, though. Oh, this Widow Mine is going to get a second shot. I don't know that it gets the queen. No, it doesn't. Yes, Solar doesn't have detect. But no, another Widow Mine does go off, but now the Widow Mines are not here for the fight, so that is something. 6 SCVs total went down, but now we're seeing the multi-prong of GUMIHO. He's got a big army on the north side, and he's got this middle-sized army in the middle of the map. Makes sense. Solar seems to be reacting appropriately, putting a big portion of his army on that left side, which is really where GUMIHO is trying to bring his entire army together. This run by not going to get what it wants. So the bio now comes stimming in. On this right side, a bunch of Lings, they get aggroed, and they're going to go down fairly quickly. So good start here for GUMIHO, and he is finally just about maxed out. He does have 2-2. This is a timing that he's been looking for. Oh, great Baneling connections, but really not quite enough to kill off everything. Not just yet. Really could have used one more Baneling making connection, but Lings get surrounds on everything now, and this is the end of this army, but there's another one where that came from. As now GUMIHO brings his entire army on this bottom right side. Solar remaxing, 12 Banelings on the way, building more Hydras, and, well, he is just really getting into the late game as well, but he's got to survive the mid game. I mean, we look at this. This is 18 Marauders. This is more Marauders than there are Banelings. This is a pretty significant wall here, but we will see parasitic bombs go down on these Medivacs, and even if you get some damage on it, that doesn't mean the Hydras can knock that down. Pathing, please, and the Banelings will not get the best connections that they are looking for. So GUMIHO continues to set up on the right side. He's going to knock down a lot of these queens. We need to see some segment of Solar's army defend that, but they're not going to be there just yet. Instead, this run by is going to try to knock down some of the reinforcements. A lot of these queens, in fact, all 3 queens? Yeah, all the queens have gone down, as really GUMIHO setting up a wonderful pushing position on the map. Solar's waiting for some timings, though. He's waiting specifically for +1 range to get done, so these Hydras are going to be much more effective. And ideally, +3 armor. That's not going to happen here. So again, the Lings, the Banes, they come rolling in. And the Banelings actually, they make their way to the back lines. Great micro there. Great job from Solar, and he's going to smash this push. It's not going to be alive anymore. Widow Mines, you got to be a little bit careful of them. They get dragged on top of the army. So the Medivacs continue to get low, and now here we go again. Solar attempting to seesaw back onto the other side of the map on inside and out. Wouldn't mind if they get a good shot, but again, Solar doesn't care that much. He's sitting here on 5 bases. He's got 86 workers. He's on Hive. He's got his 3-3 on the way. He's building 7 lurkers now. He's got soon his entire lurker upgrade set. All he has to do is hold on and take the game later. He is fine. And GUMIHO, by the way, he's getting his 5th base now. We have no Ghost Academy. This is, it's not all in necessarily, but it is very, very committed. But on the flip side, Solar, his economy, not really in the best position. He doesn't really have that much of a bank, even on 87 workers. So now the lurkers, even on 87 workers, but now the lurkers, there we go. They got to run forward. Is what am I going to get found out here on the left side? But oh, big surround coming in from Solar. The question is whether GUMIHO is going to be able to wheel his way on time. What am I shots? No, they do get knocked down. Last shot, though, actually on the right side is pretty damn tremendous. But oh, those parasitic bombs are going to knock down a lot of medevacs out of the sky. GUMIHO's not microing. He's not microing at all. But oh, they're all so low. One more parasitic bomb, and there will be no healing in this army anymore. If you're a Solar fan, that's great. If you're a GUMIHO fan, not so. So +3 attack, halfway done. +2 ranged attack on the way as well. As now GUMIHO trying to attack into this position. But unfortunately, the lurkers are not on hold position. So Solar's not going to hit with that great big explosion that he would be looking for. And GUMIHO now on the north side. And we got to point this out, as inside and out is a strong Terran map because it pushes really well. It has these wonderful choked up positions. It's also a map that only has really 5 bases. The 6th, if you include this one, which can be pretty heavily contested. And that just means that late game Terran is, if they survive there, is in a wonderful position almost always. But the lurker run by onto this 3rd base, which by the way is pretty heavily mined out, and only half the lurkers are burrowed. This is not the best thing really for GUMIHO, but on the other side, or for Solar, but on the other side, this push is going to get dealt tremendously easily. And this last lurker, well, it's going to get another spine or 2 off, but will go down at the end of the day. But again, GUMIHO has been forced off of his side of the map. Now we see Burrow going down, and Solar finally feels unlocked to do something. He forced GUMIHO back from the push on the north side, on the west side. His run by didn't get a lot done because he wasn't able to burrow every lurker at the same time, but now he kind of knows that the army of GUMIHO is much smaller than it once was, so it's on the north side, right, dealing with that lurker run by, which means, well, this base is absolutely undefended. Lings starting to feast. But on the other side of the map, Widowmine drops killed 14 workers, so that actually is going to balance out a lot of this one. Baneling's coming in from the backside, but Widowmine should be able to deal with that one for the actually, no, they don't. That's going to be fine. And the medevacs will get parasitic bombed. Oh, you got to be careful here. Oh, the medevac will go down. And with that, with all the medevacs falling, they fall from the sky, and so do GUMIHO's hopes and dreams. Solar 2-0. He moves on to the finals.